Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Andre's here. I'm here. Did you put your link to your page too?
To my page?
Yeah, on the top it says
Oh
link.
no, I didn't get to it. It's okay. Don't worry
Oh,
about it. Yeah, don't worry about it.
it's a way that we can both be on
I
and
know, but I got distracted, and
share the monies.
today I got distracted, and
Oh,
so yeah.
so listen, I've been reading a lot of. Hi, you guys. Thanks for coming. Everybody's upset about that guy you had, and I appreciating you wanting uh, different opinions, but opinions isn't what matters. It's the chart. It's like reading a record. There's interpretation.
Right, right. And I mean, I think the the and I think I'm pretty sure I said it or implied it. Not sure now. I can't remember.
I'm
But
just now getting into it. I wanted to see why everybody was so unhappy.
yeah, no. And the thing is, what the astrology shows, obviously, is that Biden is under siege right now because of one of the cycles he's in. And it also shows, and I have to be responsible to this. If I'm doing astrology and I see what I saw in terms of his, let's call it that he looks a little frail. Let's put it this way, right? And then I see health aspects in the cycle that we're going toward the convention and into September. Then do you want me to hide that from you and tell you, no, no, that's not there?
No,
I'm
but
telling you
you've
what is there,
been
right?
saying he's
So
going to win all along.
say that again.
You've been saying Biden's going to win all along.
Well, let me put it to you. I've also said, repeatedly, I've said, I said, if Biden is alive November 4th, his chart is better than Trump's. But
Yeah.
if it's not Biden and it's Kamala, her chart is better than Trump's. So relax, right? Relax. And, the point is, I'm on the Democratic ticket. And, I'm not attacking Biden for crying out loud. I'm only telling you what is there.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is, what choice do we have? Somebody said, I don't care if Biden is in a wheelchair crapping his pants on Fifth Avenue. I'll still vote for him.
Of course. Or
How
Bill Maher.
about your
Okay.
other option? It's not like we have, Mitch. Well, who was the guy that was the head of Utah? It was between Obama and him.
Romney.
Yeah, it's not like those two. I mean, it would have been terrible if Romney won, but still, it wouldn't have been life altering. Trump winning is life altering.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Okay, but you have to also understand and respect the point of view of people who are advocating. They're all these Democrats. You throw them all in the wastebasket and say all of them are idiots because they're bringing up concerns about Biden. So they're not Republicans. They want to win, so they're concerned that
Yeah,
it
but
might not work.
they're a day
Yes.
late, a dollar short. They're too close.
Yeah. Well, no, right. But I'm pretty sure that if there were any kind of shift in the ticket, it wouldn't be it probably would be to Kamala. I doubt very much that it would be to someone different. That's where it really gets complicated.
That a lot of that. Well, as it is, that the Democrats are holding money, and I guess we'd lose all kinds of money towards the Biden campaign if they changed the ticket.
Well, right, but then you don't know whether if the ticket. Can you say 100% that, say, for example, hypothetically, again, I'm not suggesting they do this. I'm just giving you a scenario. Suppose that Biden resigns and makes Kamala president, and she goes to the convention. How do you know that she's not going to raise even more money? You don't know that. I mean, it's
No,
possible.
but I do know Biden's not. I know people say he'll last the whole 4 years. I don't see him lasting the whole 4 years. If you were talking about this time last year, yeah, we got something to talk about. It what's his name? Gavin Newsom just got done saying, people stop calling me and asking me to run. I'm not going to run. I'm
Of
behind
course.
Biden.
Yeah.
And I don't trust George Clooney. First of all, he doesn't live in the United States. He's a
Mhm.
major donor, but he was mad at Biden for something he didn't do for his wife. He wanted
Yeah, I
his
get it.
wife wanted something, and this could be a way. But I am surprised about Stephen King and so. But you know what? All the big Hollywood people, including those people, were behind Hillary. That didn't help her, did it?
Oh, I know. And I mean, look, in the end, what's going to count is who wins the election. So, uh, yeah, it's that
Psychically,
simple.
I will tell you, I even saw that New York strip up on the building that gives the news. I saw it say Biden wins. You know why? Because people cannot, there's more information coming about Trump, and it is horrible. And
Yeah.
that 2025, whatever it is, they're somebody hit it. Some agency was able to break into it, and you won't believe this. It was unbearable. And if your kid goes to a private school, they don't have to join the military. But if they go to a public school, they have to take the test and join the military. That's not America.
Yeah. Yeah. No, look, I mean, in case anyone is confused, let me repeat this again so that we're clear. If we get to November 4th and the two candidates are Trump and Biden, Biden's chart is better. So that's what I'm saying. It's not going
Even
to, I mean,
Kamala's chart is really good, you said.
well, Kamala is an asset. Kamala can run on her own or with him. She's an asset to him because when your partner has a really good chart, it's a pretty obvious conclusion, right? That
Yeah.
that person is helping you. So, but that's why I'm saying in the event, let's say that it did happen for some reason that she became the top of the ticket, I'm not worried
Not
because
gonna
that'll
hurt.
also work, right?
Yeah.
That's the
I
bottom
don't know
line.
why. I see her coming in with Biden. I
With
don't
God.
see Biden dying. That's me, okay? Take
Right.
it or leave it, entertainment purposes only. And then I see, remember I've been saying this since back when they said, oh, is he going to get rid of Kamala? No, he's not going to replace her as VP,
No.
but she will be our president because before the 4 years is out, for some reason, you know, he steps down and she just takes it and runs with it.
Right. And if someone is asking here, an astrologer just said when Mars hits 26 Taurus,
Yeah.
conjunct Uranus, all will be told about Trump. Okay, well, now this is going to happen in days from now. So do I believe that all will be told? No, not all of it. I don't think so. Some maybe, but not all. That would be remarkable. If suddenly it just boom, it all comes out. Do I think there's danger to Trump? Yes, there's danger to Trump there for sure. Absolutely. Right.
And let me tell you something else, you guys, food for thought, okay? It's not Biden just sitting there running the country, even though that man travels all over. He was at NATO. He's done so much. He's got people around him that are holding him up. He's got a good administration. Whereas Trump, who only worked 3 days, 3 hours a week, or 3 hours a day, plus every weekend, he's charged us to be able to take his golfing things and then charge the Secret Service all kinds of money to stay at his lodges. He did nothing. He had his little clan talking all the crap and all that god awful stuff. It was terrible. If Trump came in, he's going to build a huge prison. Not him; it's his cohorts. A huge prison, and that's where he's going to put all the illegals. I hope that includes Melania.
Yeah.
But the guy's crazy. It's like there is no choice. Yeah, we would rather have somebody younger. I'd rather have Kamala, or that's the truth. I'd rather have Kamala or the governor of California, even though I don't quite trust him as much as a lot of good people out there. Mm-hmm. AOC is fantastic. But right now, we can't risk it. We're going to have to go with the old man. I'm sorry, but we're going to have to do it, and he will win. And he's going to win even more so as people's eyes are opening up to Trump. Because a lot of things about Trump isn't maybe we should go for him. No. That's what I was telling George Clooney. So, okay, fine. You don't want Biden, and it's too late to change midstream. So who are you going to vote for, Trump?
I don't think he's saying that. I think George Clooney is they want a different. They don't want to vote for Trump. They want a different candidate. But I also understand what you're saying. That's really hard to do. Of course it is. Yeah, no question. I mean,
as I always told my kids, Andre, how's it feel to want?
Yeah, yeah, very true. Yeah, it's the situation though. I mean, in the astrology, once I saw the debate and I pinned it to the planet. This means July is uncomfortable for Biden. It just is. He's got to, the more he gets toward August, but then in August, he has that other thing that he's got to surmount, before I can say confidently, okay,
What time frame in August?
it's around the convention. The convention is a wild period.
You mentioned that before.
So is the Republican convention. That also has.
Now, let me tell you something. If Trump keeled over and died at that convention, God forbid. Please, Father, don't let it happen.
Tell me how you really feel.
That is, Kamala would step in, probably pick Pete Buttigieg as her VP, and that would be fantastic. And people would vote. Oh, remember what happened when RFK died and how upset people were, and everybody came out for whoever was taking his place.
You mean JFK?
No, RFK.
We
were going into the, JFK's numbers weren't looking so good, but he was murdered. So that enhanced.
You mean that then Johnson had his, yeah. Well, I mean, there you're getting into a totally different pattern. But yeah, no, because then that followed. We had civil rights. I mean, it was a really important period. Which, by the way, is where that zone of the Saturn cycle going through the zone, it tends to be, yeah, Pete Buttigieg.
Somebody sent me a Pete Buttigieg doll.
The zone that we're in corresponds with democratic or progressive administrations going back to the Civil War. You see it repeating. So that's how that works. But people get nervous. I mean, it's like you said, this election is not a election against Mitt Romney. This is an election against a person that is extremely dangerous. So then
very dangerous. Yeah, you're right. This is not apples. This is apples and oranges. A horse of a different color, and the orange is Trump.
Yeah, the orange is Trump, and it's a really foul orange. It's poisoned.
Yeah.
So, absolutely.
It's interesting to watch the Democrats eat their own. I never thought I'd see this day.
Yeah, I know it's a tough time, but this is the way Democrats are, though. It's not the first time.
Oh yeah, when they had Al Franken step down over a photo, and just step down because we can't have this. Oh, in the meantime, we got Matt Gaetz down there showing nudies of women to his buddies in Congress, laughing, having a big laugh about it.
Yeah,
you got the other guy that finally had to step down, the one in the wheelchair that was dry humping his cousin on the bed. That was everywhere. Yeah. But whatever.
Yeah. No, it's just look. It's the time we're in. It's difficult to navigate through periods like this because you get the country's divided, and even the parties themselves. Look at all the division in the Republican Party. They argue with each other viciously sometimes.
Yeah.
And the Democrats now have started to do the same thing. I would say that give it till the end of the month, for the energy to start to change. And then let's hope that we can get into September, go through that convention and have the energy remain smooth. I'm only pointing out what is there, as a.
Well, I will tell you, it is better for us to have Biden have a major stroke or to keel over. And I hate to say this, but I don't see it happening. But it would be better for that to happen and Kamala steps in than it would be to force him, which he doesn't want to do, to step down. That would cause a lot of hard feelings.
Yeah, that's a pretty dire way to put it, but okay.
It would be better.
Yeah, no, of course. Or even if it wasn't such a terrible thing, but any other reason that would be compelling to him, that he would make the decision. Like, you definitely don't want him to be making decisions based on pressure. Besides, he's a Scorpio. Scorpios are fixed signs. They don't give in that easily. Once they put their feet down, they dig in their heels. Good luck with that. So yeah, it's totally.
Hey, my dad was a Scorpio November 3rd, and he was in hospice about 3 or 4 times. And every time they told him, well, it's pretty near time to die, he'd rally.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't tell a Scorpio they're going to die or they're too old.
Yeah, it's true. It's no disagreement, and yet you're going to have in a party, you see it in the comments people make. Some people are totally with Biden, and some people say, no, no, it should be Kamala. And then they start yelling at each other as though, oh, you're a traitor for saying that. No, it's still the same party. I mean, uh, like a lot of people, for example.
No, so we got to go with that, you guys. What do you get? What's the other choice? Vote for Trump?
Right. Yeah. I mean, what suppose
If you
now.
push Biden out, you're going to cause chaos.
Right, right. But suppose, for example, hypothetical again, for some reason, both of them disappear off the face of the earth. I don't know. Who cares the reason? And then they put in there, doesn't matter who they put in there. That's who you vote for because the other side is worse, right?
Right. Well, we got some good candidates coming up. I
Yeah.
know Biden's not going to be, I've said this till I'm blue in the face, and I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see Biden doing the full 4 years. I see Kamala taking over, and I see these new administrations. I don't know if she'd win the next term. I'm just saying there's so many good people coming out. We've got a little length of time of, it's just like what's going on in Europe right now. People are kind of waking up. They don't want the cray. So right now we have some peace. It doesn't mean we won't be challenged like this again with some cray. That Baron looks like Satan's spawn. Who knows if he comes back around?
Yeah, I know. Well, that's assuming that the Trump family has any kind of traction, So
yeah,
that's I think really overreaching. So I don't think I would worry too much about that.
Look what Jamie said. Where is she? Here we go. My dad was a Scorpio too. He went in the hospital once a year for 6 years and always rallied. That's my dad. My dad didn't even eat for 4 or 5 months. He would drink water. That's what kept him alive. It's when you stop being able to drink fluid, you usually died within 3 days, is what happened. He couldn't swallow anymore, and he died within 3 days. But the hospital couldn't believe it. He wouldn't even drink the Ensure, and he was on hospice, so they couldn't give him, they wouldn't do a GI tube feeding or anything. And he had a bad heart, my friend. First heart attack was when he was 42. He had about 5 or 6 heart attacks and a quadruple bypass, and he didn't die of heart disease.
Yeah, no, Scorpio's definitely.
That's what I'm talking. You Scorpios rock. You know what I'm saying? Oh, here, Grace just said something. My 2 dead husbands.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Unquestionably,
But what was his rising? What is Biden's rising?
Sagittarius.
Oh my God.
Why?
That's even more like. Well,
Sagittarius is the way he's sunny. He's
yeah, he's good with people.
He's really good, and he's always presenting an optimistic, the optimistic side of things. And that ascendant, the problem with that ascendant is that in the timings, starting in the spring of 23, he started to get these comments about being too old. And he had a window when he wasn't being bothered between the State of the Union and June. The Saturn moved away from there, but now it came back, and now it's going to do the same thing again. Saturn now is moving away, so that when we go toward the election, where it's placed, people will say, oh no, he's really wise, he's experienced. They're going to talk the other side of it, right? But at the moment, it's not in a good place, right? And
that makes sense.
I was hoping that he could sidestep it. He didn't, He
is it stubborn, or weren't they talking to him about this time last year? Because it's too close to the election to change midstream. It really is, and it's going to piss people off.
Yeah, no, I totally, yeah, it's true. It's too close. It becomes an emergency situation, and then those are much more risky. So they're better avoided. It's true, right? So
I don't know why, but I've lost all the shows I used to watch. I don't watch MSNBC, none of them. I put on the Weather Channel. I watched the whole series of the Serpent Queen. Oh my God, that's a good show on Star. It's a series. They're starting on season 2. Holy cow. Now that's how they use it. It's about Catherine de Medici. Boy, you talk about how people used to run things back in them days.
I know. It's where
Oh,
it's where people want to. It's where the Republican Party wants to take people back. To
yeah.
to the good old days where things were awful, but to them it's better, even though it's not. So, yeah,
Can
absolutely.
I ask you when are we going to have September 11th? We're going to have Judge Marchand give what he decides the punishment for Trump is
And what are you asking about today?
about the date. Yeah,
Yeah,
astrologically
I,
because
yeah. I looked at it, and the reason I haven't said anything about it is that they canceled the previous date. So then I had said the previous date wasn't great. Then they canceled that. September 11th is not good for Trump. No, I looked at it. It's a terrible day. But does that mean that Marchand does his ruling then? I don't know.
somebody
So
just said it's not September 11th. It's September 18th. Thank you, Sean.
yeah, whatever the date was, I looked at the chart and I thought this is not a good day. But we're in this place where the Supreme Court got involved helping Trump, and so then I don't know what Marchand concludes. I hope he sentences him then. Yes, I would love that because if so, it's a major hit.
Right,
Uh,
right.
yeah.
Thank you, Swami. Whatever I get from this one, I'll add up the money and send you half.
Oh no, don't worry about that. It's okay.
Plus my expenses will be about $1.23 total you'll get.
Oh, okay.
I just so um because thought real quick, you looked at Trump. You know how he tends to rally when he gets punished for something.
Yes.
Do you see a rally in there at all? Or does it look bleak?
What do you mean? Like when?
The judge says you're going to jail.
Oh, that. Oh, well, yeah. Okay. So the thing about Trump in October, because that's kind of close to October, right? The month of October, and in astrology, when a cycle is happening in a certain place, there's like a build up toward it, and the person can start to do it a little before, it's more precise. So October is hugely over the top Trump, where he's normally really hyperbolic and he blows everything up out of proportion, and that's what October is like. So no news there. Yes, he's gonna. I don't know about rally though. That he's gonna try to rally, but that doesn't mean that it's successful. He will throw a lot of information, yell and scream, and
Yeah,
uh, things like what he said about Democrats are killing babies, totally made up stuff that is way over the top. That's what I would expect October to be for him. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, he he's I just really feel Sterling had often said years ago, Sterling said he sees him packing his bags and leaving the country. And I remember not quite getting that. But if you think about it, when he loses,
mm.
it could definitely happen. It could be he's afraid with I see more of the Epstein stuff coming out that he's not appreciative of. I see people suing him left and right.
No, I mean, look, the patterns in 2025 and 2026 are lethal to Trump legally. Uh, well, that's why he's trying to win the presidency. Okay, that's the logic. He wants to avoid that. I don't think he can. And then he's got a huge problem where those planets go. Same with Putin. Putin is in that same
Yeah, I
place,
love
right?
when you said that.
So that's I try to read the entire pattern, to kind of guess which way it's going. And yeah, it's not good. I would not. It would not surprise me one bit that he leaves, because Trump that way, he will do it as best for him. And if he feels that he might be in some kind of incarceration, he's going to bail, guaranteed.
Yeah.
And he'll just say the country's persecuting me, these awful people, and which is why, by the way, if you expect this thing to settle down this year, you're probably not right about that. I think it's going to continue being
Oh,
pretty
it's going to
tense.
be on for a little while. Yeah.
It's going to be tense. Yes.
Hi, you guys. Thank Jesus, guy. We're 2,700 in. Karen says, I'm doing a lot of volunteer work for Democrats. I support Joe. I'm leaning to have patience with those who are afraid. And it's fear. I can understand.
Sure.
Thank you, Susan. That's 50 cents towards Andre.
No, I
But
need a dollar.
listen, the guy you had on, the one that does polling,
Yeah, that was good.
I put him on my channel. Did you see that? I reposted your show.
I heard about that because what I noticed is someone made a comment on my channel and it seemed to increase the activity. So thank you for that. And yeah, I can understand why because he's very good. He's on the ground. He understands the patterns. Yes, exactly. I mean,
Love how he said, "Yeah, that's a bunch of bull. Pennsylvania's going Democrat. No way."
right. Well, and he at one point he said, this is where people have to read between the lines. He said, yeah, there are polls, and we're 13 for 13 since Dobbs. So, right, which is why because the biggest issue now is women's rights, which Kamala is perfect for in any place on the ticket. She's perfect
Anyway,
for that, and that's really what drives the this election cycle. I
and
think.
it's real delicate. Like, God forbid, maybe Biden steps down, but he won't. But that's why it has to be something that happens. It's outside of everybody's realm, and then it's easier for her to be
Correct.
able to step in. But they can't do it. They can't because then they're going to say everybody pushed him to step down.
Correct. Yeah. No. Totally. Totally. And the main point is that Kamala's role is really really important, and her cycles are really well aligned. To produce a really good result. And it just turned out that this is a year when the Supreme Court put it on a platter because that issue is completely radioactive, and there's no real way to argue that without getting in trouble, right?
I loved his 13 for 13. So what that means, you guys, is there's been 13 voting, like for a new justice in Wisconsin, right? For certain people to take certain chairs in the House that were, for some reason somebody had to go.
Mhm.
And all of them have been won by Democrats, correct?
That's right. Which is what the public, when they actually vote, they're voting against the MAGA agenda, and this was happening in 2022. This is Trump's radioactive problem. I mean, the thing is, though, that all of that said, I think what makes people nervous, including the people that are, challenging Biden, is that they want to win. They just don't like the fact that, if you think back, people don't like polls, but back in 2020, they liked them more when Biden was always ahead. And now they're showing the opposite. So it scares you. That's all. It's not
Yeah.
really a complicated thing. The people that are challenging him, they're still Democrats. They don't want Trump to win. That's the point, right? So to call them traitors, I think, is a little bit over the top. If you want to call someone a traitor, call Trump a traitor. The
They're
real
afraid.
traitor here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. People are afraid, not necessarily of Biden, they're afraid of Trump coming in.
Yeah, of course. No kidding. Why would you be afraid of Biden? Biden with his head in a jar. This is what Bill Maher, who's a Democrat, but he doesn't think Biden should be running. But he said, "I will vote for Biden if his head is in a jar." Don't misunderstand me. Yeah,
I
it's
don't watch
true.
Bill Maher anymore because I didn't like some of his directions, but I appreciate that comment.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like he's not telling you that he'll stay home or he'll vote for Trump. That's not what he's saying.
That's what I'm thinking, Rob Reiner and the rest of them. I can't honestly believe they turn around and vote for Trump. They'll
No,
probably go in with their nose up in the air, but they're
no,
going to
never, never. No, no, no. No,
vote.
that's the thing that realize that all these people, George Clooney included, I guarantee you George Clooney will vote for Biden and he'll encourage everyone to vote for Biden. They just disagree on the direction, but they're not going to vote for anyone other than the top of it. Doesn't matter who the person is. They will
Yeah,
vote that way. They're
yeah.
committed, lifelong, progressive.
Anybody but Trump.
Yeah, of course. No, even I'm pretty sure no matter who they put there, if Trump disappears and they put some other person, the stakes are too big. It doesn't matter who you put there. Even if you put a really normal, think of like imagine if someone like I don't know, think of someone Romney. He's not running, but someone normal. The vote right now has to be against the Republicans because, for example, if you let a Republican in there, you can, then Alito and Thomas will retire, so they can put two younger judges in there who are even crazier. Bad idea, it's too risky, too risky. So you can't
So
put
let
that.
me ask you then, have you taken a look see with all this God love our AOC. She's a future, I'm going to tell you right now. She did articles of impeachment against Alito and Thomas. Now, I've been told unfortunately it won't go anywhere.
It won't. Yeah.
But
won't.
if a new administration comes in that's favoring Democrats, I think I think Thomas and Alito will be packing their bags.
Well, yes, although I don't know what good is it doing. I mean, all due respect to AOC, but I wouldn't have done this now because you're signaling, you're telling your enemy that you're coming for them. Just come for them when you're ready. Because right now you can't do that because you're not in charge, so you can't really do impeachment procedures. They're just going to say the Republicans will say we're not doing that, and then Alito and Thomas are at home going, "Oh, they're coming for us."
Yeah,
So I would have said to her, hold your fire, just hold on because the conditions will change and then you can really attack, right?
yeah.
So, yeah,
Well, she had to make a statement. I think she was getting a lot of push from her constituents. She has
sure.
to
Yeah.
act like she's doing something, even though she knew that it probably wouldn't work. But I'm telling you right now, I don't know what you saw in their charts, but I feel they're very nervous.
Yeah. Well, what I saw in their charts is that when you see a person behaving in ways that is the Saturn again, not respecting, boundaries that are correct boundaries to keep everybody in their proper lanes. These guys are getting out of their lanes. They're taking money they shouldn't be taking.
Going
They're
to see,
saying, right.
can you believe Thomas went to see Putin?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, and a whole bunch of things. There's the money. There's the alliance with the wrong people. There's backing insurrectionists, the crazy wives. There are all these different things. But when Saturn visits you, it tends to. Well, look what just happened to Biden. You
Right,
just wow, boom. It was for a totally different thing. Because in Biden's case, he got on the wrong side of his energy cycle. Right, he got really
right.
tired, and then he came off looking horrible. In their case, it's the same as like when a criminal is brought to account because of
Yeah.
things they've done, right? It's like that. So
My daughter is more of a conservative. She's on here, Nicole. Hi, baby. And let me tell you something. Any damn but Newsom, she says. I don't blame her. But our grandson is only 10 years old. And if Trump comes into office, we have of course, I'd put all the money I have and putting that kid through private schools, but he would more than likely be forced to serve in the military.
yeah, that's the part that people are not.
And wars left and right, trust me.
Yeah, and a lot of that is how well the message gets out. That's another reason. If you're trying to understand why are these people like Congress people, George Clooney, the different people, their concern is because they want better communication, getting the message out. Where, like for instance, the fact that in the debate, Biden left all kinds of things on the table that were things you got to immediately pounce on and attack and say, you know, Trump at one point said, Putin had a dream of invading Ukraine. Hold on. Okay, right away. You go. Let's talk about that. Just tell Jake Tapper and the other lady, I'm not answering your question. I'm answering this because I want to know what this guy means. So things like that. And so the point is now it's Project 2025. You got to explain it to people. Like have a voice that says really clearly, do you realize that this guy wants to create concentration camps?
Right,
Make a big stink out of that. And Biden is saying it, but the message isn't getting out there as strongly as it should. And yet it's probably good enough because you know what's going to happen too? You're going to see Obama, you're going to see Hillary, you're going to see Bill Clinton. It's going to start ramping up and it's going to get out there anyway. So, in a
right.
certain way, it doesn't matter who the top of the ticket is. It makes no difference. So, but that's one of the things I think they're thinking of. They're not trying to betray the party. They just want to have it be out there.
Yeah. And
Be
they really would like someone who could roll the drums, but I mean, come back at these idiots and give them a what for.
correct. Yeah, correct. Which are like, for example, Kamala is a prosecutor. She's very good at that.
She's very good at that.
Very
Yeah.
good at that. So she's an
But
example.
everybody's asking, do you see Biden winning? You're saying that the chart with the November election looks good for Biden.
It does. Yes.
Oh,
That's the thing that, in other words, if Biden for some reason doesn't run, can't run, whatever, then I'm nearly certain it's going to be Kamala, and her chart is fine. She'll beat Trump. And if it's Biden, he wins too. So just relax, right? Either or.
guys, it's not going to be Trump that wins. That's the main thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the key.
And the other thing I just read with Project 2025 is they're going to take national parks and sell them. They're going to sell to the highest bidder. They're even talking about getting rid of the rights of indigenous lands.
Yeah. Well, it's, I mean, these are, it's basically, they've become a party of thugs because the man at the top is a thug. He keeps telling people all kinds of things that are just basically the words and deeds of a thug. So then they want to do that. And the question is whether they can do it. I say no.
I just got a hit, you guys. I just got a hit. There's going to be another debate, and Trump and Biden will show his stuff. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe he'll do a couple of lines of coke, but it's going to happen, and he's going to be bada bing, bada boom. Everybody's be changing tune. I just saw that. I saw everybody bragging about Biden because when I was reading on a debate, it always said Biden doing good, but he bombed so bad. I thought, are my guys lying to me? What's going on here? But no, they just showed me. They just showed me a debate, and it's like, because Trump is talking nonsense, blubbering nonsense, and Biden's talking about real things.
Well, that's good. And I don't know that I would recommend you do coke, but
I know, I'm just kidding. You know how they always said he was doing lines of coke. President Biden has announced his ceasefire framework to stop the conflict in Israel, and both agreed. Now, when did you see Netanyahu going? When was that? Next year?
well, Netanyahu. Let's start with that. The fall and into the winter is not good for him at all. So that could be enough. If not, then because of his sun sign, he's the same sun sign as Putin. So then he enters territory that is harder. And the main reason it's harder is he's another person who breaks through boundaries that he shouldn't be breaking. He tries to manipulate the courts. He's doing things that are self-serving. And that's when Saturn tends to punish you. So that's the logic.
Hard for him to leave his country because is he still coming to talk to Congress, you guys? Does anybody know?
I don't know that if it's true.
Because isn't somebody's trying to serve him papers for crimes against humanity?
I don't know whether, I know he was going to a while back, but I haven't followed it, whether he's going to actually show up, because that would sound like something the Republican House might want, to create noise.
So somebody's saying that Biden said he doesn't need to do another debate. Maybe it's not an actual debate, but I see him at what do you call those things? The way you stand and you talk, and he's talking to people and he's answering questions. So maybe Trump's not there. I see him doing something that everybody's going, oh, this guy is on it. I think he should have a town hall. I think he would do real good.
Yeah. I mean, the more that's the thing that people have complained about, that he needs to engage more frequently to reassure people that he's in a good spot. But it's hard to run the country and do all that, and it's a lot. It's a lot. It's very demanding.
Now, what the hell is this person saying? Shame on you, Linda. So negative.
About what?
I don't know. I just deleted them. Bye. Go watch something else. Did you sense I was negative just now?
Well, I don't know what the part. Which part? I mean, this is the thing, right? Which part? I mean, I love it when people use words like shame and traitor, and I mean, for God's sake,
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're all.
The main thing was that I feel Thomas is going down big time. I'm almost feeling like he might even have to go down before the new administration takes place. They are praying that Trump wins. I'm going to tell you right now. Mm-hmm. All of them, Kavanaugh and all of them, are so afraid what's going to happen when Biden wins, because he can make sure, especially when the Senate and Congress is going to be run by Democrats. They can have hearings. And they'll call them in front of the American public, and they'll have to answer for what they did. Because years ago, when he first got in, and as you know, they never investigated him because Trump told Christopher Wray, I don't want you answering any of those phone calls. I don't want any investigation on Kavanaugh. And in the meantime, they paid off all his debts. And he's got an answer to that. But I told everybody, I'm so sorry. I saw him going in, and then I saw a hand on his shoulder and someone escorting him out.
Yeah, well, welcome to the current period. Why so much has been said about connecting to the Civil War period. There's a lot of division right now. There's the two sides are very divided, right? And the Supreme
Right.
Court is now. I didn't think they would be this obvious, but they're pretty obvious about what they're doing, and so it's a problem. But let's face it, right? If you do not vote Democratic, whether the person is, who cares who the person is, you risk extending this problem, right? And there were people in 2016 who didn't vote for Hillary, and that meant 3 more judges, right? This is where you have to be thinking really clearly and realizing my vote is really important, and especially if you're in a battleground state, because you could argue in some states a little less so. It only means for the, the popular vote, but in states like Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, North Carolina, it's really critical that you show up and vote, because otherwise bad things can happen.
Yeah. I've been saying since before Biden was running, I said, because President Roosevelt came to me in spirit. And he almost talked about Biden as if he was going to do the same things that the president, different times, of course, but almost like the New Deal. And President Biden tried the best he could to get this going like a New Deal, but it's a different covering. But he's trying his best. And I'm going to tell you, years from now, he will be looked at as one of the best presidents we ever had.
Well, he's already getting that praise, even from the people who say that they don't want him to run. They are always saying that. At the same time, they say he's been the best president. So they're not saying to you, this guy's bad. They just don't like the timing. But it's absolutely true, because by, logic, I mean, he passed all kinds of legislation, bipartisan too, which is so unusual when both sides are, warring like that. He got it through.
No, he thought he could go in and work across the table like he used to. He didn't realize what maggots they were.
Yeah. So he got it done. I mean, no question. That's absolutely true.
So the Dow Jones is 40,000 points. So it's back up. And the NASDAQ is 18,000. Everything's going up, you guys.
Well, I mean, that's another thing, right? That's another thing, that the current environment makes it much harder for Republicans to make a case for change, because the current environment is very good. They say it isn't. They make up stories about how terrible it is, but no, it's not. It's totally doing well. So they have to get around that, and it's not easy. Like these people that want to make these crazy changes, the times they do well are when the country is suffering, and people are really complaining. But it's not true right now. So then you have to make up stuff. It's like this, it's like that. There are millions of people crossing the border, So
according to Trump, it's millions of billions of people.
Yeah, sure. I know. But this is the thing.
Millions of people being killed by the illegals coming over. By the way, I haven't seen any of that in any news. In any newspaper. They're not talking.
No, but see, that's where Biden on the debate should have said, hey, this isn't true. You're a liar. And I think you're acting like you're mentally ill. I would have said that. Explain that to me. Where's the proof? You just pull things, you're like this guy. You just pull things and say stuff like it's true. Like how you used to say, there were votes in the river. What votes? What river?
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Are we crazy or what? Like, tell us where this is. You just pull, you just decide that this is the truth. Whatever I make up is the truth. You're a liar,
Destroying people's lives like that mother and daughter who were passing some sort of candy or gum to each other, and they said it was votes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But, by the way, that was pretty costly, for people who say, well, that didn't mean anything. Well, ask Rudy, because Rudy now is running around trying to hide his assets.
Although the bankruptcy court is doing an investigation of the monies Trump owes them. Apparently,
I mean,
Trump owes Giuliani a couple of mil, and they want to know where that money is.
Yeah. No, people ask, why isn't Trump being arrested? Because our democracy democracies are by nature, they give you lots of room, and
Yeah.
that's Trump's genius. Is he knows he can go up really, really close to the edge and beyond, and he gets away with a lot. So
Hey, look at this. Sharon Ann says, why isn't Trump being arrested for meeting with Orban and making threats online to people? The DOJ is dropping the ball by allowing Trump to violate the law.
right, but you can't arrest someone for meeting with someone, and you can't arrest someone for
It's
saying things.
I thought if it was, of course, Orban's not in charge anymore, right? So he wouldn't be a foreign diplomat.
No, Orban is in charge. Orban runs Hungary. He is. He's the boss.
Oh, he's still in charge? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the boss, and he's very. Orban is like uh, Putin style, democracy where you limit the press. You basically you reduce freedoms in order to make your job easier, which is what Trump wants. Trump wants to be able to do whatever he wants and say that if someone writes an article against me, they're the enemy of the people. That's Trump's message, right? Meanwhile, Biden's method, or Democrats, they have to take all the heat, right? I mean, don't you think Biden would love it to be able to say, the New York Times, why are you writing these these articles telling me to go away? But he doesn't say that because that's freedom of speech.
Right, right.
Second Amendment or whatever it is, or is it first or second? I can't remember. First Amendment.
I want to mention to everybody I belong to your membership.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah.
And he has very good classes because I don't understand astrology language.
Yeah. Well,
You have very, very good classes. I don't catch them live. I catch them after the fact.
yeah, the astrology can be fun if you want to see the mechanics of why I say something. I'll explain it, right? But if you have no interest in that, then it's less interesting. But that's also how you learn why things happen, the way they happen. Yeah.
Somebody said Twin Tarot was in here. Hey, hello, you guys. And then somebody sent $20. Mimi to you.
Nice.
So you guys, I was watching. It's on Star, and it's called The Serpent Queen. And, oh my God, edge of my seat. I saw the first season already, and they replayed it, and I still watched every single one. I totally forgot what had happened. Season 2 just started. So, oh my God, it's edge of your seat. You want to talk about cutting throats and stuff. It was just made me feel so good.
Huh, nice. Nice. I have a recommendation too, but a more serious thing that I saw recently. It's called Turning Point, and I think it's Netflix, but you can look it up. It's about 7 or 8 episodes, and it traces the fall of the Soviet Union. And I didn't know a lot of the stuff that was going on. It's really, really informative. That the years with Yeltsin and Gorbachev and all that. And one of the things they bring up, which is this is the way the world works. And Ukraine, when they went independent, they had nuclear weapons, and they were talked out of them. They were told, you got to give them back. And they said, we can't give them back because Russia's going to come after us. They were saying this in the 90s, right? And they were talked into letting go of their weapons, and they didn't even get an assurance of guarantee. Like when they wrote the document, they said, well, we will, the word they use is assurance, or in other words, they made it vague, but they didn't say guarantee that we'll defend you. So then Russia attacked, right? And if they had had nuclear weapons, then Russia wouldn't have attacked because, they would have been scared. So, I mean, it's amazing.
They came in under false flag. They acted like they were going to be okay, and they weren't.
Exactly. So, it really goes to show you how a lot of these patterns, you can see them coming. And then you see how Putin was fooling Bush and even Obama a little more, but they weren't really, ready to see that this guy is super dangerous and that he had this idea in his mind the whole time.
So last question, because I've got 2 more shows to do after you. Maria wants to know, did you happen to notice in the charts any terrorist attacks during the convention?
I would say likely not, but the problem I have with the conventions is that both conventions have unstable energy. There's the idea of something that we all think, wow, that was unexpected. That's the planet that is really active for both conventions. So a terrorist attack is definitely that, but it feels a little bit over the top to me. What about you? What do you feel about that?
I feel there's going to be something, but not in the convention, outside. I saw
Outside?
like a train or some sort of, maybe it's an airport, but it's probably easier to get in via train. I see some sort of explosion, but I do see the CIA, FBI, everybody blocking a lot of chatter. They're listening carefully. But I
Mhm.
do see something in the East Coast that involves some sort of, it could be near the convention. Something will take people's heads like this. Like you're watching the convention and you turn and say, what just happened?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that is definitely for both. It turns out this year, the one coming up and the one in August, for slightly different reasons, but they both have heavy, heavy planetary energy with Uranus in the middle. And Uranus has a way of, well, Uranus rules earthquakes, so think of it that way. It's kind of the thing where you get jarred out of your calm. It
Right.
wasn't Trump's diaper, but yeah, right.
When Thoreau said it wasn't Trump's diaper blowing up, was it?
Not that I know of, but anything is possible. I've heard stories about this kind of thing. They're not uh, easy to hear.
Yeah. I just see it's not going to be, and let me tell you, and I've told you guys this till I'm blue in the face. That's why I love Lawrence O'Donnell. Trump was asking for his people to blow things up, to take over. When they arrested him, come down here, everybody marched. The most marchers I saw was down at Mar-a-Lago. There was about 24 with flags. And then Mar-a-Lago wouldn't let them use the bathrooms. And so they were crapping right on the sidewalk. But he went down there in New York with that trial, and there was about 2, maybe 3 people at the most every day down there. And
Yeah.
that always told me, because there was something when he went to New York and he was arrested or whatever, when he was getting in his limousine or his town car, he stood up like this, and Trump was looking around because he was looking for people that were protesting. He was really hoping they would protest, but they're not coming out. And in the meantime, people like Bannon and Trump and all that, oh, you're going to pay, you're going to regret it. No, we're not. I'm going to be
No.
just as fat as I ever was, sitting here enjoying my Diet Coke and my chili cheese dog on my lounge watching Serpent Queen. I
Yeah.
don't need your ass. I don't need your happy ass.
Yeah.
So
That's the rule of law holding up, because when all is said and done, if you go somewhere and you shoot it up or do something crazy, the law is going to come after you. Don't be
oh,
under any illusions about that. That's how it works.
I
So,
also feel news coming out about foreign influence trying to come in here to starting something.
oh yeah, well that's already a given though.
Like they stopped something. I see there was a big raid and they were able to stop something. Apparently it was even Chinese related, is what I hear. So we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
Well, we ended up with 3,476 people in the room. I appreciate you guys coming out. I'm going over to Tanya's Stingley's channel.
Nice.
And then after that, I'm going to be with Deanne.
All right.
I'm busy, girl.
You are.
Thank you so much, Andre, for coming.
All right. Well, we'll say goodbye to everyone then.
All right. Thank you guys. And they can get to your channel by going to
Just
Proactive
my
Astrology.
channel is Proactive Astrology. Yeah, you can't miss it. I think even with my name now, you'll find it. So
Yeah,
either way.
just put your name. Oh, and may I mention that the actress Olivia Hussey put my book in. What is it? It wasn't TikTok. It's the other one, Instagram, and said, I just read this book and it's fantastic. And
Nice.
her daughter did too. It really, really just made me feel good. And apparently some bigwig with Warner Brothers wrote her. She said, oh, I heard from somebody who was with Warner Brothers. And that person said, me and my daughter never miss Linda's show. So
Nice.
thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. God bless everybody. Bye, you guys.
Bye,
Cheers.
everyone.